I'm Damian. I'm head of digital PR here at Impression, and today I'm going to be speaking about building a future-focused digital PR strategy. So we're going to run through how to measure the value of your PR investment, what you should and shouldn't report on, and then also how to communicate your core offering to create PR activity that aligns with your brand and engages your audience as well. So first up, we've got the return on investment. So the challenge, first of all. So what's my pound for pound return? I like the words that every PR person dreads hearing, but can't avoid, so from marketing teams, from CMOs, CEOs. And this really stems back from traditional PR, where measurement and ROI were sort of pulled together as the same thing. And the outcome of that would be to look at coverage, reach, advertising value equivalent, which is AVE. This is essentially if you were to like land coverage within the Sun on like a page, the AVE would be how much it costs to advertise on that page if you were paying the Sun. I've worked in agencies before where like we would pull these reports together and you give it back to the client. It'd be like £2 million was earned this month. And that's just not true. And then brand awareness in this sense is more coverage equals more brand awareness, but there's no actual real sort of tangible like revenue or value behind it. So how does all that translate into revenue? Well, it doesn't. And now it's more important to prove the return on investment from your PR strategy than it ever has been before. So to do that, PR should be a part of your organic strategy, and if it is, that's when you can really show the ROI. And this is because PR is fundamentally a part of SEO. So this is the three pillars of SEO. We've got technical, content, and authority. PR naturally sort of earns coverage across other domains, and therefore we can drive links back to our site or our client's site, and that will provide the authority from an SEO point of view. So yeah, digital PR is a vital component of any organic strategy, and if you're not considering it as part of your strategy, then you're essentially wasting a third of your success, and you're also wasting your ability to measure its ROI if you're looking at it in silo. So the solution, so unlike traditional PR, we're not going to combine multiple metrics and offer them both up as measurement and ROI, because the two are completely different things. So at Impression, here's how we view it. So we look at our own goals, which is essentially our measurements. These are things that we have full control over. So this is the quality of the links that we're running back to the site, the relevancy of those links, and then where they're placed as well. And then shared goals is essentially where we can start looking at towards the return on investment. So we're looking here at keyword rankings, traffic, and then ultimately sales and revenue. So to answer the question of what's my pound for pound return, if someone was to ask you that about digital PR, well, you can't really answer that question if you're looking at digital PR in silo on its own. So from a measurement point of view, which we'll go into more in a moment, the solution is to establish goals for digital PR. Where should links influence performance across the site? And in terms of ROI, what we should be looking at is to measure the ROI of a whole organic investment, not just PR. And your SEO team should be able to show you how to do this, but if not, we can look at reviewing referral traffic behavior. So it's not uncommon to, for example, if you're like a business that is very product heavy, to be covered in a roundup within a newspaper or online, and you might generate revenue through this link, but that's not a sustainable strategy that's going to continue. We can look at analysing ranking changes in line with links acquired to see what their impact is on traffic and sessions. And we can tie that back into goal completions and revenue driven through key pages as well. So we've covered ROI, so now let's look at measurement, which is the other half of the conversation. So the challenge here, so how do we measure if digital PR activity is really successful? So do we just want as many links as possible for the cheapest that we can find them? And no, that's not what we're doing. In case anyone can't see, it's no. If you're measuring the cost per link value, or you're working to an arbitrary link target, like 100 links per month or something like that, which has sort of no basis, then you're essentially undermining your whole strategy, or you're really missing the point on measurement completely. So the solution, so going back to the own goals that we spoke about, so quality should be your focus over quantity. So we've got our own way of establishing quality impression, and we use this to set sort of meaningful KPIs across our strategies. Relevancy, so looking at where you can build new authority for your site, where are your competitors excelling, and where can you move ahead? So we know quality is going to be rewarded, and we know this is the route that Google's taken in terms of assessing the authority of websites following recent algorithm updates. But just as a warning, so in my opinion, if you target quantity above all else, all you'll get is work that really isn't rooted in the brand or in quality, and this really fails to acknowledge the PR foundations of digital PR. If working to a link target, you'll eventually reduce the value of earning quality links that are guided by analysis to focus on a volume of links guided by quick wins. So when I say quick wins, I don't know if people know, but there's like journalists that will syndicate content across multiple publications. Your strategy will essentially become that to try and hit this number, and that's not a quality strategy. Links are not all equal, and they don't have the same impact, so to reduce them down to an equal cost is counterintuitive. So you may look at like a link from the BBC, which is high in authority, a link from a trade publication, which might be lower in authority, but will benefit from the relevancy. There's no way of really putting a value on either of those against each other. So to summarize, a well-defined and executed digital PR strategy is way more valuable and measurable than one number can simply account for. And to reduce all of this to a number of links or coverage really undermines the wider value of PR and what we've considered as part of our ROI conversation. So we covered measurement and ROI, so now we're going to run through sort of what's your core offering for PR, and it's not what you're selling, so don't sell your products or services. First, we need to establish relevancy, and that's simple, so we should be creating content and campaigns for people, for our current customers and for our future customers. And we should stop building PR strategies for Google because that recognition will come naturally from Google. So our aim should be relevant coverage and links from domains and publications that are related to both our core offering, which is not our product, and also to our target audience. So here's some questions that you might hear from wider people in the business, CMOs, CFOs, CEOs. But this campaign isn't about our products, it isn't relevant. We want people to know what we're selling. We need something that's more product heavy, and how are we going to sell through this story? And these are all common and valid questions from a business that really wants to drive revenue forwards. But selling more and increasing revenue is an eventual outcome of PR. It's not an instant outcome. So the instant outcome of digital PR is building the brand, it's engaging the customer, and it's earning relevant links. So just looking at some examples of this, so being product-led versus core offering-led. So we've got a scenario here where we've got a story about the comfiest beds from a luxury bed company. So we issue that story to a journalist. The journalist is going to turn around and go, well, this is salesy. Why would I cover this? They should pay for this sort of coverage. The outcome is limited to no coverage. There's no alignment with the core offering. This just appeases pushing a product. And it really doesn't target the full audience potential. Whereas if we look at a story about struggling to sleep, sleep remedies, how to solve that, new solutions by experts, we issue this to a journalist. This is informative. It solves a problem. Readers will engage and they can really build off this. This equals more coverage. It's got more of a mass appeal. Ties into a core value, which is offering a good night's sleep, and it appeals to current customers and prospective and positions the brand as a real expert. So your core offering isn't your product or service, it's what it does, who it impacts, and what it solves. This isn't to say that you can't get coverage that's about your product, like that's totally fine, but if you're going to go down that route first and foremost in terms of like pulling the campaign together, you're just going to back yourself into a corner in terms of the outcome. So don't sell your products or services. Cool, so we've gone through your core offering, but how do you find your core offering? So we need to find the issues and themes that directly impact our customers. So we need to work out who's using the product and why. And from there, we can really explore the issues and work out what impacts that group and what really resonates. So I've created the BIC framework, or this is what I've called it, hence the pen. So there's 3 areas of questions that need answering. So be sure to list all of these because you'll need them. So first we've got brand, which is the B. So we need to ask ourselves, what are our brand values? What do we exemplify as a brand? What do we care about and who do we care about? Looking at issues, so what are the issues that matter to people buying our product or service? What relates to those issues? How can we solve them? What do people want to buy our product for? Why do people want to use our product? This isn't an all-exhaustive list, like you could have more questions than this as well. And then customers, so who's impacted by our brand and its product? Which group, which professions, what type of people? So now we've established sort of the framework to get to the idea. This is how you then make that framework newsworthy. So here's a scenario from one of our clients who's a paint brand. So we asked ourselves, what are the brand values and what does this brand represent? So they're eco-friendly and sustainable. They've got clean products that are good for the environment. They're good value for money. And they care for customers and community. And the blue box will make sense later on. So looking at issues, so painting is a home improvement. So off the back of that, we can ask ourselves, so why do people make home improvements? So they're bored of their current home, they're following a change in the household, they want to make a home their own to fix or improve on the current state, to add value and increase its curb appeal. And then finally, the customer. So we've got homeowners, renters or tenants of properties, if your landlord will let you. landlords, designers, artists, upcyclers, and decorators. So to bring all this together into essentially a strategy or an idea, so we've got the people that are impacted, which is homeowners. The issues that are specific to them is the value of a property, curb appeal, living in a nice area. In this scenario, the idea was around adding colour to the UK's greyest place. So we'd established the UK's greyest place in the UK based on different factors and then use the expertise of the brand and the products and that sort of thing to bring colour to that place. The opportunity is lifestyle and home press, and is this value aligned? Yes, because it cares for community and customers, as we established earlier on. So putting the ROI measurement and finding your core values into action. So this is based on a client of ours who's a young driver insurer. So the people impacted are learner drivers and parents. The issues that are specific to them are receiving abuse when learning in the car. And you can find these issues out as well from like sort of surveying your customer base, so you can really find out what matters to them, and being safe on the roads. So off the back of this, the idea was to campaign to increase penalties for abuse around learner drivers. The opportunity off the back of this is lifestyle press, straight up news press, motoring, student press, instructor titles. And does it align with the value? Yes, it supports the key customer, which is learner drivers and their parents. The idea really feeds into things that they care about. So looking at the outcome and measurement, as we discussed at the start, so we'd build the research around dangerous driving around learners, and this would sit on the site. From this research, there's an internal link to the learner driver insurance page, which is like their key focus. Looking at the end goals here, we've got quality of links, relevancy of links, and placement of links. We established that these publications here were needed for the site. They're of quality, they're relevant, and we can see how the links coming in here are bringing equity into the site, and it's all funneling through to impact the end goal. We can add to that with supporting on-page content from the SEO strategies we spoke about at the start. And then to bring all this together, so we've got digital PR, which requires time and consistency. That alongside your ongoing SEO strategy from a tech and content point of view is going to start to see eventually the key term, which in this case is learner driver insurance, start to increase in visibility. At that point is when we can really establish the ROI. So that's when we can start to see the cash come in and work out what our return on investment is. And we can see here how this worked over the course of, I think this is about 2 years. So this is the keyword visibility for the target keyword set. And we started at around 60%. Within 2 years, we hit 100 a few times, and we're sort of bobbing around 95 plus. So to summarize, PR should be a critical part of your organic search strategy. So measurement is what you can control in PR. We can only show ROI when viewing the whole organic investment and its impact as one approach. We need to stop selling our products and instead find our core offering using the BIC framework, so brand, issues, and customers. And digital PR requires time and consistency, as do other organic channels. So bringing digital PR and technical and on-page SEO together, and you've got a harmonious, holistic SEO strategy. And that's break time.